week, we take you to Villa Casa Verde, nestled in the peaceful community of Tobago Plantations Estate. It's a 10-minute walk from the Magdalena Grande Beach and Golf Resort and is surrounded by a par 72 18-hole golf course. In the next half hour, I'll tell you why you should make Villa Casa Verde your next vacation home. I'm Davia Chambers and Let's Talk Tobago starts now. Tobago launches new driving permit system. We share WASA's initiatives for the new year and later legal requirements for sawmills and furniture shops. These stories and more when Let's Talk Tobago continues. We'll be right back.
I was introduced to the marine environment by my biology teacher when I was 14 years old, and I decided to make it my passion. So I've been diving for almost 32 years. I decided, listen, this is the job for me. I also find great joy in introducing the kids to that environment because that's our future. I am Alvin Douglas. I'm a dive shop operator at the Tobago Beach facility, and tourism is all we take.
The Tobago Plantations Estate is a peaceful community comprising a series of luxury villas. It's surrounded by an 18-hole championship-designed golf course as well as 2.5 miles of beach and a beautiful windy coastline. Now this is a big story. Tobago is first to launch the new National Driver's Permit. Our lead story has details on the advancement made on these permits and how they can help licensing staff be more effective in vehicle registration. Caroline Wallace fills us in with the details.
Tanisha Jofield is the first person in Tobago and of the country to be issued the new National Driver's Permit. The new permits are part of a centralized digital system embedded with barcode technology. This makes it more difficult for anyone to duplicate these permits. They were rolled out in Tobago before anywhere else in the country.
Here you have a new driver's license, and before it is actually available at any of the licensing offices in Trinidad, people in Tobagonians, persons in Tobago, from this morning will be receiving that license when they come to renew their permits or when they are granted a permit.
The system allows authorized licensing office staff to access data on drivers as required. Permit holders no longer need to go to a specific office to retrieve their information.
Let us start to satisfy our customers. We need to change the mode that we operate in. I know we have a lot of challenges here in Tobago. Very soon that will come to an end. Very soon that will come to an end. You all will be getting your new facilities here in Tobago, and with the technology that will be installed from this morning, coming to the license office will not going to be a disaster.
The new system also means there won't be any long waits for certified copies of vehicle registrations.
From this morning, if you apply for your certified copy, you'll be able to collect it right here in real time. And that is just the beginning of what we have planned for this year.
The new system doesn't cancel existing permits, so drivers won't have to change their old ones until they expire. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
The construction of this property was inspired by the owner's desire to have a vacation home for themselves and their extended family in this beautiful, serene spot. Now, as we're on the subject of history, our next story has details on a comprehensive book based on the history of Tobago. It's actually in the process of being published to help people remember where they came from. We have highlights on what you can expect to see. Have a look.
The era of the First Peoples, the battles for Tobago among European nations, and the island's development in the 20th century. The changing face of Tobago during these periods will be included in a new book called Tobago, Its History and Heritage. The work is being spearheaded by Dr. Rita Pemberton and her research team in collaboration with the Tobago House of Assembly.
We speak about history in terms of the economic history, or history in terms of the varying European countries that would have settlers that we would have had, in terms of the history in terms of from a religious perspective and the many different religions, and the approach, of course, would speak to education and the role education has played over the years and the history that we have had over there. So essentially it's to provide young people, students, children with an insight into our legacy from a historical perspective.
The publication is expected to cover other topics such as the Union of Trinidad and Tobago, the growth of the autonomy movement, and the shift in the economy from agriculture to tourism. It's just one way of ensuring that Tobago's history will be available to future generations.
There will be a need, of course, to ensure that our social studies and our history teachers utilize the book in a scheduled manner. So identify opportunities, maybe opportunity for quizzes, maybe ensure that there are certain sessions and opportunities that material from the book is taught in our schools, so that our students and therefore that our students can benefit.
The book will highlight outstanding Tobagonians who've contributed to the island's development in the last century. Tobago's unique cultural heritage, such as music, dance, and food, will also be explored.
Even older persons who are not, just to get yourself a degree of familiarity, a degree of comfort with the rich history and rich legacy that we have as a people. I think it must be a text that every Tobagonian must have at home.
The Assembly will cover the cost of research, publication, and marketing of the book. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Casa Verde is Spanish for greenhouse. Now, this beautiful greenhouse mirrors a modern styling and has been owned by the same person for 10 years. The owner, however, chose Tobago Plantations to construct this property as it's quiet and green. Now, it's no secret outgoing Chief Secretary Orville London is leaving office soon, but while he's still around, a few stakeholders paid him a final visit, including BHP Billiton's President Vincent Pereira and the outgoing U.S. Ambassador John Estrada. Here are the details of the visits.
Tobago has had many opportunities through United States Embassy to Trinidad and Tobago. The Tobago House of Assembly partnered with the U.S. Embassy to construct this emergency relief warehouse managed by the Tobago Emergency Management Agency, and several other initiatives. And in that same spirit, U.S. Ambassador John Estrada visited Chief Secretary Orville London to say farewell as they both prepare to leave office.
And I just wanted to express my appreciation to him for making me a better person, because I crossed paths with him while I was here in so many ways, professionally and personally.
The THA and the Embassy also collaborated to provide mentorship for young Tobagonian students and other initiatives.
We have had collaboration with TIMA, very nice facility. We played a role, the United States, in partnering with Trinidad and Tobago and putting TIMA together. We have a relationship with one of the NGOs over here that does work on gender-based violence, combating gender-based violence. So I have spent a lot of time on that issue, and it was my honor and pleasure to personally come over here and do a couple interviews and show up at a couple workshops and visit in schools, which has been the most rewarding thing of in my tenure.
BHP Billington, which explores oil in the waters of North Tobago, has also had a strong relationship with the Chief Secretary and the Tobago House of Assembly. They also thanked Mr. London for the work done throughout his tenure.
We do appreciate the access that the Chief has given us over many, many years, to come and sit and provide an update on how our company is doing, but also, kind of test some ideas with him, access some of his wisdom. Today was particularly poignant because this is the last time that we will be meeting with the Chief in this capacity.
Chief Secretary Orville London served Tobago in this position for 16 years. I'm Caroline Wallace for Let's Talk Tobago.
Up next, WASA's 2017 initiatives. Don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back.
Come, there we go to Tobago, that paradise, Bombay, Robinson Crusoe. And it is said, it's the land of tomorrow. Princess Margaret say, come Tobago for holiday. Now the whole world say, come Tobago for holiday.
Thanks for staying with us. You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago. What about Villa Casa Verde keeps guests coming back is the fantastic sea breeze that blows all year round, which is sometimes useful in the Tobago heats. Now, for some people, 2017 is a year for starting over or improving oneself. But this organization is no different as they share new initiatives to better serve the public. Here are the details in this report.
In recent years, Tobago has had its fair share of challenges with its water supply. The Water and Sewage Authority, WASA, has been tasked with boosting the island's water security for 2017 and beyond. So WASA has outlined a number of initiatives that will enhance the quality of lives for Tobagonians. Representatives recently met with the officials of the Tobago House of Assembly to outline their plans for the island.
The board of WASA has committed to the desalination plant, and they're supposed to provide us with details with respect to the procurement process and the start and finish dates for that project.
Funding has been a challenge in one major project, but there is some good news, as this plan has been placed on the front burner once again.
They have put back onto the agenda the desilting of the Hillsborough Dam. As you know, this is an area where there were a number of challenges, one of which was the cost. And what they have indicated to us is that they have devised or been advised of a method which is much more cost effective and which they believe could bring relief in a very short space of time.
Already, the remote village of Hermitage in Charlottesville has been provided with pipe-borne water for the first time, and there's an assurance from WASA that its water trucking service will be improved. Firm commitments on other projects are a good sign.
They've also recommitted to the connection and upgrade of the Scarborough sewer treatment plant and the connection of houses in that area to the treatment plant. The wells upgrade will continue, and again, we are expecting that that will bring a short-term relief with respect to the situation in Southwest Tobago.
There's no guarantee that Tobago will have a perfect water supply in 2017, but if everything goes to plan, this dry season won't be as challenging as 2016. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Tobago Plantations Estate is in close proximity to the Gulf City Mall in Lowlands. So for those of you who are not interested in the activities offered on the compound, you can visit the Gulf City Mall and shop till you drop. Or maybe catch your favorite movie at Movie Town. Now, too much of anything is bad for the body, and yes, that includes salt. That's why in this next report, Omadara Mills gives some advice on what you can do to reduce your salt intake to live a healthier life. Here are the details.
The recommended limit of your daily intake of table salt should be about 5 grams per day. Now, that's about 1 teaspoon of salt. But according to the World Health Organization, most people consume foods with too much salt, on average 9 to 12 grams per day. Now, this can lead to side effects such as swelling of the limbs, headaches, strokes, heart disease, and kidney disease. So it's important that you use salt in moderation.
The benefits of having a low sodium diet is that the person will, of course, decrease the risk of high blood pressure. Again, a lot of people will ask, well, does it mean no salt at all? It's not that we're saying no salt in the diet. You must have some measure of salt in the diet. So much so to tell you, most foods have some level of salt in them. But of course, the ones that are high in salt or high in sodium, those are the foods you would like to limit in your diet.
The World Health Organization recommends that people reduce their salt intake by reducing salt added during the preparation of food, removing the salt shaker from the table, limiting the consumption of salty snacks, and choosing foods with low salt content.
Sometimes you have a lot of hidden salt in food items. So mostly you will find them in canned and tinned items. You will also find it in sausages, preserved meats, salted meats and fish. You could even find salt in some of the drinks that we have. Alright, so again, also it's important that persons read their food label and understand exactly what they're putting into their bodies.
Using salt substitutes while cooking can help curb your usage as well.
Instead of buying the tin or canned vegetables, you could use the frozen vegetables. Of course, fresh vegetables are even the better bets. Other ways you can reduce your salt intake, sometimes even what we use. So we may use salted butters plus the salted seasoning. So again, we could use some discretion while we're cooking and rely more on fresh herbs and seasoning for flavor as opposed to too much salt or too much fat for the flavor.
Reducing your salt intake should be done incrementally so that your taste buds can adapt. It may be difficult for some, but this doesn't compare to the health benefits. You can go to the Tobago Regional Health Authority's Nutrition Unit or visit the health centers for more information on practicing healthier eating habits. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Management offers you a reasonable package where if you stay at the villa for a minimum of 2 nights, you pay only TT $3,000. Now, if you ask me, I think that's a steal of a deal. Now, for those of you who missed last week's episode, we introduced a new segment called THA Footnotes. This special weekly report takes you on a journey through the years, the highs and lows, the milestones and memorable moments since 1980 when the new assembly was formed. So let's have a look at Footnotes.
Remember this moment? Hakeem Stewart again wrote his name in the record books and brought home Paralympics javelin gold at Rio 2016. In recent years, Tobagonians have been at the forefront of athletic achievement in this country. Even at the schools and Carifta levels, Tobago's athletes have been matching their national counterparts. But decades ago, there weren't sporting facilities or resources like we have today, such as well-maintained, lighted sporting fields. Before the re-establishment of the Tobago House of Assembly in 1980, sporting enthusiasts played on any accessible outdoor space. In Cane and Bonaccord, villagers competed on turf, then located at Milford Court. The well-known Shaw Park Recreation Ground was the home for sport on the island. It was initially managed by the Tobago Cricket Association, since cricket was the leading sport on the island back then. It was the first official sporting ground in Tobago. The association, though, needed assistance for the continuous upkeep of the grounds. The field was handed over to the Tobago House of Assembly. As the island's sporting interest developed, so did the number of facilities. Now, there are 28 well-maintained grounds across the island. 19 of those are lighted facilities. Tobago also has 2 aquatic facilities in the east and west of the island at Kendall and Corland. it's helping develop a new generation of young swimmers that are already earning medals in national and regional competition. That's not all. The island is a regular host of the Junior ITF tennis tournament. And in table tennis, the island has been on top in several local and regional competitions like the Caribbean Championships, the Caribbean Pre-Cadet Championships, and the Latin American Championships. Additionally, the public have the option to exercise using gym equipment for free at the Black Rock Recreational Ground.
What it does, it really allows not only for recreational uses like persons who are going for keep fit and so on, but the teams that train can also use it as station drills for their own football or whatever preparation.
Because, I mean, I just be here like almost every day. And without this, just the spins alone, is a burnout now. So, yeah, Plymouth need one.
Today, sporting development continues as the island has turned its focus to holistic youth development. There are various programs available to help students thrive on the field, in the classroom, and beyond the academic curriculum. They are being prepared for professional careers and life after sport. But they've also got the facilities to help them make the best of their abundant talent. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's time to take a break, but when we return, we give you details on the Sport Development Meet. Don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago will be right back. Stay with us.
They say it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters the most. And in the face of disaster, chaos, and panic, it is the Tobago Emergency Management Agency's comprehensive emergency response plans that will matter most to Tobago. This agency's modernized approach to emergency management is driven by technology, powered by networking, focused on community resilience, open to partnering, enhanced through training, and led by a highly competent and dedicated staff. This has positioned them as one of the premier disaster management agencies in the region and earned them Trinidad and Tobago Diamond Standard certification. Congrats, TEMA, Tobago Emergency Management Agency.
Welcome back. We're exploring Villa Casa Verde. This property has a full kitchen equipped with modern appliances and utensils to cater to the foodies. It also has 4 bedrooms that can sleep a maximum of 10 persons. Now, rules and regulations apply to everyone and are important as they help to maintain order in society. In this next report, we have details on the regulations that protect our environment from sawmill and furniture building operations. Here are the details in this report.
Tobago's lush vegetation is one of the many sights tourists come to enjoy. Now, due to the island's size, its terrain, and the variety of trees, lumber production is not done on a large scale. But for the sawmills and furniture businesses that are on the island, and there's about 19 of them, they have to be licensed. That's according to the Sawmills Act No. 24 of 1999, Chapter 66, Section 2. And here's one reason why.
As it is, there's a moratorium on sale of logs on state property. So most of these farmers, well, these sawmillers, they obtain material from private owners, landowners. And so we have to verify that whatever they say they have, they do not say come from state property.
Besides protecting the environment, especially properties owned by the state, which total about 15 in Tobago, the law requires that business owners have their books in order and in a safe place on the compound for forestry officers and rangers to check. The law also ensures that communities are protected from the noise caused by these businesses.
Once you go over a certain decibel, it is required by law that you maybe protect yourself and even those around you. So the law enforcement, the EMA police, they will try to control, at night especially, when it is more disturbance.
And there are fines for not adhering to the law. For those with furniture shops, it's $30,000 or 2 years imprisonment. And for sawmill operators?
So sawmills operating without a license, $100,000 or 5 years imprisonment.
Permits are due in January of each year and can be obtained from the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment. For more information, call 660-2079. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
At Villa Casa Verde, there are lots of activities, including nature trails and canopy walks through the mangrove forest, golfing, and even a cool dip in the pool. Now, every good thing must come to an end, and the same can be said about the Financial Literacy Workshop. The final session was facilitated recently at the Victor E. Bruce Financial Complex. Here's Marlon Gotsleben to fill us in with this report.
The Financial Fitness Series closed recently with a session on wills and estates. The series is aimed at educating Tobagonians on their options for acquiring and managing their wealth.
Planning your estate will help you to think about the different people who you want to benefit. Sometimes you think that you don't have the money to pay a lawyer. Well, you can start with what you can afford.
Participants were advised, if what you can afford is enough for a will, then that's where you start. They were also guided on ways to divide property equally in the event that the deceased owner doesn't leave a will.
Intestate. If you die without leaving a will, the property is divided according to the Administration of Estates Act. Firstly, spouse and children. If there's only a spouse, no children, the spouse gets everything. If there are only children, no spouse, then the children will get everything. If there's a spouse and children, the spouse gets half, the children get half. Up until a couple of years ago, it used to be 1/3 for the spouse and 2/3 for the children.
If a property is being disputed, the next step is to look at legal documents. To take your matter to the courts, there are a number of things you'll need to know.
Some of the legal documents that are quite important, as I would have mentioned before, the power of attorney. The deed and the certificate of title are two different documents that show how you own land. They are proof that you own the land. Some land in Trinidad and Tobago is passed on by deed, but some of them it's a certificate of title. But both documents have the same weight or the same significance.
The series was hosted at the Victor E. Bruce Financial Complex with support from the Unitrust Corporation. It's just one of the ways the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development is boosting financial literacy on the island. I'm Marlon Gotsleben for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's time to have Your Say, the segment of our program where we hear what you, the viewers, have to say. So today we're asking, what do you think is Tobago's most precious resource? While you think about it, let's take a look at who had their say this week.
We need to develop Tobago in a better way in farming for the youths and them to develop themselves and to have progress in Tobago and the crab and coconut industry.
Tobago's most precious resource is the beaches, the crabs and the rainforests.
Oil is the most important resource in any society because notwithstanding whatever physical resources you have, you rely on the human resources of the country to work those resources and to bring out some sort of change or some sort of difference.
Our human resources. If we don't have human resources, then Tobago doesn't exist. It's only a landmass. So therefore, our human resources is the most precious.
Tobago's precious resources is its people. Without its people, there's no Tobago. When you look at our landscape, you look at our culture, everything is surrounded by the people that live here. Other than that, we're just a mass of land.
We close yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. We close now with a montage of the Arts and Entertainment School Tour. We really hope you enjoy.